Hello and welcome. I'm Ethan or TheEreader, Season 1, Episode 36 of the E-Reader podcast. And today, this is my review of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I finished this book a few days ago and I haven't got to making a review till now. I guess I will just start. This was on my TBR for April, so that was successful. I actually read this book, and this is a fantastic book. Just a disclaimer: if you've watched my other reviews, I know I say this like pretty much all the books I review are amazing, but like I don't review bad books. I stopped reading bad books, so I wouldn't review those. If you know what I mean. Anyway, um, also, I'm just reading a lot of really good books. Most of the books I read are recommended, and I read them, and they're recommended because they are good books. So that's why I've been saying all these books I've been reading are amazing because it's true. They are amazing, and that is also true for this book. So I'll try to make this one of my quicker reviews. So I'll have a spoiler free and a spoiler section. So if you haven't read the book, then you'll get my spoiler free thoughts. So let's just get into the spoiler free. I'll just start with what the book's about. From If you can't tell, my reviews are not scripted at all. I just wing it, just say whatever comes out. So this book is about this guy named Quoth. This book, the series, is called the Kingkiller Chronicles. Book 1 and 2 are already out. Book 2 is The Wise Man Feared, and it came out in 2011. The third book has yet to come out. Patrick Rothfuss has just been reviewing it. I know it's been 10 years, but release dates have come and gone. Anyway, so this book is about the series, but more specifically, this book is about the life story of this guy named Quoth. One day, this guy named Chronicler comes into this person's inn, and he notices the innkeeper. The innkeeper's name is Quoth, and well, actually, his name is the innkeeper, but he disguised himself the innkeeper because he didn't want people recognizing him. He is 40 something years old, or I think around 30 in his 30s or something. And the person named the Chronicler comes in, and he's a scribe. He writes books. He writes nonfiction stories, and so he comes in. He's like, "Whoa, you're the guy from all the myths," because people just assume that these stories about this guy named Quoth are just myths. And so Chronicler's like, "Whoa, are you actually that guy from the myths?" And the innkeeper is, "Yes, I am Quoth." And so Chronicler convinces Quoth to tell his story, his life story. So the first book, so but Quoth says to the Chronicler, "I only can do this over 3 days." So he's not gonna spend a week telling his life story. He's only gonna spend 3 days. So the first day of him telling his story is the first book, if that makes sense. So he starts by telling his life story from when he was a child and then up to when he was like 14 or something, and that is all told on the first day. And that is what I'm going to be reviewing here. And then the second book is the second day of Quoth telling his life story. So this book is essentially a kind of a diary because what you're reading the story that Quoth is telling. It's a bit confusing, but not really. So so yeah, that's kind of the outer, like Quoth telling Chronicler story, but the inner story is like the whole life story of Quoth when he was a child, or like a 11, 12 child. And so the life story is him. He Some tragic things happened. I'm not going to spoil anything because about the story, because it's really interesting. It's about the magic system's really interesting. I love it so much, and his tragic things happen to him. He goes to a place called the university, which is kind of like a Hogwarts esque place. But I actually personally like the university more than Hogwarts. It's The university just seems like a really cool place. Anyway, I'll tell you about my thoughts because I talked a lot about what I like about what the book's about. So I'm actually going to go through my ratings again. I think it was pace, characters, plot, and what was the last one? Okay, so I just checked my other video and I'm back. So it was plot, characters, pace, and world building. Um, because this is a series. It's a three-book series. It's a trilogy. The third book hasn't come out, but you need to have quite a bit of world building in Name of the Wind. So, just let me get a sticky note. Jeez, I'm just doing this all on the fly here. So pace, I'm gonna give this book a 7. 7 out of 10 for pace because it's not. There are slow parts, and it's a 600-page book, and you can't expect it to be fast the whole time. So yes, there are slow parts, but those are the parts that you learn a lot. So next, I'll do plot. The plot is a very interesting plot. I watched an interview with Patrick Rothfuss, and he talked about how he didn't want to do a regular fantasy story like Chronicles of Narnia or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. He wanted to do something else, and I love that. It's a life story. It's not like Harry Potter is not a life story. It's a like it's about magic and but this is more than that. It's like a lot about like it's just I can't really express it. Like sometimes you can't express what the book is about, but it's different. Anyway, the plot is very interesting. I love the magic school, and you might think, oh, magic school is from Harry Potter and stuff like that, but it has been done before. Harry Potter wasn't the first to do it, so it's not like a magic school is not a totally original concept, but the magic system is very original. I don't know why I'm talking about that when it's the plot. The story, sorry, is very well done. The plot of him telling his life story is a very interesting take on the fantasy genre, and I really like that. So I'm gonna give that a 9 because it is a fantastic plot. Next, I'll do characters. The characters are just really well done as well because um the main character, Quoth, he's very different than any other fantasy characters. He's very aggressive. He's very sometimes mean. He tells a lot of lies as well. So I'm gonna say the characters are probably a 9 as well. So and lastly, oh my god, oh world building. I'm gonna give the world building let's say an 8 because it's just like obviously you can't have a 10 in a story like this. I don't even know that much about the world so far. We only spent a small amount of time in this small area of the whole world that Patrick Rothfuss created. So yeah, let's just tally these up. 25. I got a total. This book got a total score of 33 out of 40. And if you divide that by 4, it is 9, no, 8. So it's about an 8.5 or something like that. Anyway, it's a little more than 8 out of 10. So yeah, so it's probably like a 4.5 out of 5. So that is actually a really good rating. Now, I talked a lot about spoiler free, so I'll have to go to spoiler thoughts quickly. I'll just say my favorite parts. So yeah, these are my spoiler thoughts. So if you haven't read the book, please go. I'm just gonna say some of my favorite parts. So yeah, some of my favorite parts in this book, or some of my favorite characters, Denna is a really good character, as well as I love Willem and Simon. Those I love those people so much. They're like they're such good friends, and you really see the connection between both Simon and Willem. Um, I really Fella's a good character too, but I mean, we don't really get to see her that much. I love the Ewolian. I don't know how to say it, but I love that like pub or whatever it's called. I really like it, and I love how Patrick Rothfuss does like he Koth was doing playing the whatever it's called, the lute, or I don't know. It was a lute. I don't know. It was like the stringed guitar thing. Um and then, in a classic story, like, the person would they do amazing, they play the whole song, and it'd go great and amazing, but that did happen, but his string broke, and that was like, I jumped, like, I was that was an extra, touch that Patrick Rothfuss didn't have to take to make it more tense. And that I just love that part. As well as the end, the dragon part. That was a sick scene when the dragon of the Drakus blew up the town. Or but overall, I really enjoyed this book as a whole. The ending, well, I'll say the start was quite good. I wish it got into it faster, but I mean, you got to set up, so that was fine. The ending was a little abrupt for my liking, but that is fine. And I felt the part where this guy who has like a demon inside him or something came in and like hit the chronicler and stuff at the end of the book. I felt that was a bit unnecessary, but that's just my 2 cents. The Yeah, I like Bast. I like him as a character. He has an interesting backstory, and I can't. Well, the reason why I didn't like the ending, it might be because I think Patrick Rothfuss wrote this as a 400,000 word story, just one story, and he cut it up into 3 books, like Lord of the Rings. So I can't really blame him for the endings. But I quite enjoyed this book. I would definitely be picking up the second book in the series pretty soon, probably May or June. And overall, most of my thoughts were spoiler free. That I didn't really have many spoiler thoughts. I just really enjoyed this book. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'm Ethan, or TheEreader. This has been my review of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Thanks for listening. See you next time.